Hello and welcome to my studio. I'm Jessie and this is the Knit Up and Dye podcast, episode 119, Packed and Packing. As always, I'm going to start with my thank yous. Special thank you goes out to all of my subscribers, both new and ongoing. I love you guys. What you see here is all about you, and I'm always looking to hear from you about your ideas, what you'd like to see and what you'd like to hear. Special love and thank you goes out to deep breath. Monica, Nancy, Rachel, Leanne, David, Donna, Amy, Tara, Diane, Allison, Adriana, Barbara, Wayne, Patricia, Cappy, Lisalete, Jorge, Kath, Benti, Christy, Neetsy, Charlotte, Linda, Roseanne, Betty Ann, Marie, Scott, John, Kate, Janet, and Terry. Much love goes out to my Zoom family, Robert, Juanita, Paula, Katie, Brian, Eve, Jamie, Elizabeth, Jen, Roz, Shirley, and Nicole. A warm hello and thank you goes out to all of my patrons. You honor me, you make this possible. Thank you. All right, what have I been knitting? I left you guys hanging last time. It was a big race, I've been trying to get my Brickyard sweater done in time for my trip up to my trunk show at Unwound, which I'm so excited about. The countdown is on. I leave in just a handful of days. All of my product has arrived up there. They are just as excited as I am. I know they're dying to open those boxes. The boxes are going to open at my pre-show party Wednesday night. And that is going to be a lot of fun, and I have gifts for everybody who attends. The space is limited on that. If you are on the fence about that, contact the shop and get signed up now while you still can. But, I moved my sweater into a much bigger bag because I just felt bad about stuffing it in there. It fits sort of, but no. I risked, when you have a project bag with a zipper, if you're overstuffing it, you risk snagging your work in a zipper, and that is never ever good news. So I bit the bullet and I dug through my closet and I pulled out my hefty duty heavy super big bag, which I love, and I moved my sweater into it, and thank goodness I did, because you wouldn't believe how much space a single sleeve takes up. I finished it. I got it done. I got it done just the other night. I finished the sleeve on it, and I'm so excited. Here it is. It desperately needs to be blocked. There's two sleeves. There's proof it's real. I really did it. I need to wash it. I need to block it, but I need to weave in my ends first. And there are ends everywhere. I'm going to turn it inside out right now, because while this is processing, while it is saving and uploading, that is my chore this afternoon, is weave these in and get this blocked so that it is dry in time for my trip. And it's got a lot of ends. Part of the reason it's got so many ends is because I was holding I was working two skeins simultaneously to break up pooling as much as possible. Also, it's top down in the round seamless, but there's some modular aspects to that where you pick up certain places at certain times, and so from time to time there'll be an odd end where you pick up and you move on. There's ends. I love it. It's even beautiful inside out. I really love it. The yarn that I used was Supernatural Yarns by Shannon Shaw. This was one of her Harry Potter inspired colorways. It's called Acromantula Colony, and this is on her Kraken DK base. It is 100% superwash merino in, like I said, a DK base, and she had done this colorway as one of her club colorways, and I reached out to her and requested, would you be willing to make me a sweater quantity of this? She is always obliging. She does beautiful customer service and fast delivery, and she made this up for me long before I had any idea really what sweater I wanted to do with it. The sweater pattern is Brickyard by Elizabeth Doherty, and I loved every bit of it. I had a couple points of anxiety just because I surface read the instructions and didn't sit down and breathe and read the instructions. It had nothing to do with her pattern. It was all about me and my general anxiety disorder. It was so well written. Every step of the way, her instructions were dead on. I never found an error. I found user errors where I misread stuff. And I highly recommend going through and circling your size or highlighting your size. And that kind of eliminates some of the noise in there and the confusion. And always pre-read a pattern. Always pre-read a pattern and underline things, highlight things so that you will pick up on them later. That having been said, I only had one place where I ever ripped back, and it was because the yarn was pooling. That was the only reason that I ever took back or ever was stuck or lost. Just absolutely beautifully well written. Her tech editor deserves an award because it's so well done. It's so comprehensive for what could be an extremely complicated pattern, just because of all the design elements that she has included in there and the shaping, and it's so beautiful. Really, there was a lot to handle, a lot of different instructions in there, and whoever the tech editor is genius. Elizabeth, if you are out in the universe and you're watching me praise your pattern, please give an extra nod and thank you to your tech editor, because this was brilliant, really brilliant, beautifully done. I fully expect I'm going to make another one of these. It was delightful to knit. It was so comprehensive, and you get such big bang features out of it that why wouldn't I? I'm looking forward to weaving in the ends. Said nobody ever. But I'm looking forward to wearing this, and I'm very excited about it. I have tried it on. It fits beautifully. As always, I have the curling hem problem that will block out, we hope. The only thing I have about this is because it is 100% wool and because it is tunic length on me, it's very warm. But sweater weather happened, and I'm super excited about that. The temperature has pitched off significantly. I'm wearing wool socks. I'm gonna wear my sweater. And I'm headed up to Unwound in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and the weather there has done the same thing, where all of a sudden it is fall, bang, somebody threw a switch. So we are all geared up for wool, and that couldn't make me happier. So, gonna set this aside, not going to stow it away because I need to weave in those ends while this is processing and get that ready. Very excited about that. I have, for my trip, started to pack. I've already packed and shipped all of the yarns, all of the gifts, everything is up there. Now I gotta pack and ship myself. That includes my travel knitting, and for my travel knitting, I have talked to you guys about this. I'm knitting a baby sweater. It's the cutest little hoodie. Let's see, do I have a picture of it? I think I have a black and white photo I can share with you. Why is this stuck? Ah, staples. Gotta be careful with staples and patterns. This is the pattern. Thank you, Barbara Bruneau, for suggesting this. I had a little contest looking for baby sweater patterns to knit for my friend who's expecting. This pattern is enveloping, and the pattern is by Elizabeth Felgate. I have started this. I am knitting this, and I've gotten down through the hood and I'm starting the body shaping. I wanted to get established on this before I traveled with it, to be sure I was comprehending it, to be sure the yarn was working out, and to make sure I had all of my tools that I was going to need with me for traveling. This, I think, is going to go very quickly. Like I said, I'm down onto the shoulder shaping for this little baby sweater. I am doing the 1 year size intentionally because new mothers get all kinds of clothing for newborn babies, and then all of a sudden there's this drop off where they don't have as much clothing once the child starts to grow, and boy do they grow fast. A year goes by so quickly. So I wanted to give her something to look forward to and to have later on, and this is it. I suspect that it's going to knit up pretty quickly. It looks huge to me, but this is all the head is. And really, babies have big heads. They really do. And it's not close fitting. It's a hoodie. It drapes. I am excited about it. I've got it set aside. Let me show you what I'm knitting it in. If you're new to me, you haven't seen this yet. I'm knitting it in Barcelona by Loops and Threads, and the colorway is Heartbeat, which it's a baby sweater, so cute. She is having a little girl, so I chose reds and rosés and purples, purple being her favorite color. And I am told that her baby shower is going to be in November. So now's the time to focus on this and get this done, because I don't know when in November. It could be November 1st for all I know. So time to get clicking. I do have a gift from Mum as well, which I've shown in previous episodes. And I'm super excited to give her all of these things. It's very much a handmade gift all around. What have I been dyeing now that I've talked to you all about my knitting? I think I'm going to come up with one more project to take with me, just because I think the sweater is going to go really fast. I may have that sweater mostly done just on my trip up there on the airplane. So I may foster another project with me. I am so easily distracted and lured into new projects. I don't want to take a lot with me, because I know once I get into the shop, somebody is going to show me some wonderful project that they've just done. There will be tons of yarn there by other indie dyers. And I'm always tempted. I always buy something. I always bring something home. I don't want to have all of my luggage full of yarn and be up there naked. So I need to be a little bit choosy about all that I take. That having been said, because this is going to be so quick, and because there's still always the issue where you fatigue on stuff. Yeah, I'm going to be traveling for some 6 hours. Do I want to work on just one thing for 6 hours? Is it likely that I'm not going to have a hitch or a point where I just want to stop? I've had enough. Or yeah, do I just want another project to shift between? I know monogamous knitters do not understand this. Those of us who are poly project knitters, or whatever the term is for people who cannot knit monogamously, you understand that I'll put 2 hours into that and just be like, okay, I've had enough of that, and put a couple hours into something else. I'm sort of tempted to take a sock, just because socks are so portable and so easy to do. I have still like 6 squircled socks, all started in various stages, to someday do my tutorial with. I can't touch that, because if I sit down and I put 2 hours into it, I'm going to be past that point that I need that to be staged to in order to demonstrate clearly for you. A lot goes into tutorials. I hope that through editing it looks seamless and easy. The reality is you got to have all these things all pre-done, and you know, think about the cooking shows, the early cooking shows, where they have the turkey and they baste it and put the stuffing in, and she slides it into the oven and immediately pulls out the roasted turkey to show you. It's like that. You got to have everything all staged out. So that's knitting. Dyeing, I have taken a break from dyeing. Getting the last of the trunk show out, getting all the remaining custom orders that I had received out. Thank you guys. This week I have dyed nothing. Oh, it was wonderful. I love dyeing, but not having to scrub my kitchen. Not that it's filthy, but you have to clean everything out and get all the food stuffs out of the way so that you can do the dye, so that you're not cross-contaminating anything. Not having to do that, not having to lug out all this stuff, to just be able to make muffins this morning and relax and not scrub everything back down again to dye was really a pleasant vacation. I forget how often I dye. I forget how much work goes into it, and I forget how pleasant it is not to do it from time to time, which sounds so bad. I have like guilt telling you this, but I think I put a lot of my life into what I do, and when I don't do it, it's bizarre. There's this absence there, and at the same time there's breathing space all of a sudden that I don't think I take quite enough of. I know that going forward after this trunk show, things are going to shift a little bit. I want to put more effort into my design work. I have had, I've just released 3 new patterns. I'm really excited about it. I have one more pattern that is still lingering that I need to get written up and over to my tech editor and get that out. And I have all these ideas that I have not really been even toying with. They're all just kind of back burner, and I really want to get back into my design work and doing more of that. There's a ton of yarn in my shop. Please check out my shop. There's a lot there. And I think it's time to focus again on my design work. So I think the dyeing, other than strict orders or adding to my shop and boosting quantities, is really going to kind of settle down a little bit. Maybe I'm only going to do dyeing twice a week, twice a month, twice a week, to give me 2 weeks each month to really focus on the design and testing. I think that's an exciting shift, and I'm looking forward to it. I haven't had a lot of knit time because I've spent so much of my weekends dyeing. Sometimes I'll dye 2 days in a weekend, and that doesn't give me a lot of design time or knit time, and I've missed it. I've really missed it, and I've got stuff pending and tutorials that I want to film, and I think there's going to be a little bit of a shift and more creative time. I'm excited about that. Everything, like I said, has been focused on my trunk show. That is coming up. I'm super excited about that. Now that all the product is out of here, I did some cleaning. Yeah. I love cleaning my studio. It's so freeing. It's so getting everything out and organizing everything again just sets me up to be creative again. And I think that's a lot of why I'm also thinking very much about getting back into my design work. I stumbled on samples of swatches and yarns and notes that I had for other designs, and so I'm like, I want to work on them. I'm very excited about that. That's a lot of where my talk about moving back into design and creativity is stemming from. That having been said, I'm looking around. There is more cleaning that needs to happen. There's definitely some dusting that needs to happen. The cardboard boxes, something about them, they're like dust magnets, or maybe they emit dust, I don't know which, but I do need to clean just a little bit more in here, and that's going to happen before I lay out the sweater for its blocking. In doing that, in cleaning, you can't just clean one space, or at least I can't. Cleaning involved the entire house, and that helped me to dig through some other stuff. And I had promised a week or 2 ago that I was going to look for the baby sweater that I made for my son. It was a crocheted sweater. I told you the story about my little puppy Stinky, who knit my entire house with the other balls of yarn that I had in my project bag. Thank you everyone who found humor in that. It's a fond memory. It honestly is. At the time it was not, but adversity makes our lives more memorable, and he was such a wonderful dog. I tear up just thinking about him. He brought humor, at the very least, into my life, and was just a wonderful, wonderful dog. Y'all, at some point or another, have had a pet or a friend that meant everything, and he was one of those. So this sweater is a twofold memory for me. It reminds me very much of that incident with the puppy, and of course my son. And so here is the sweater that I made for Sam, and it was a little crochet sweater. I have no idea what the name of this pattern is. I cannot find the pattern. It wasn't with it. This, of course, was stowed away in little baby things. I can tell that it had been through the wash. It has some pilling. It is a cream and sugar, I can't remember the name of that yarn. Somebody help me with that. It's 100% cotton. It comes in little balls. You can get it at Walmart. I think that it's also available at Peaches and Cream. Aha! That might be what it was. It might have been called Peaches and Cream. I think it's also available at maybe Michael's, maybe Hobby Lobby. I don't know. I haven't bought it in years. I remember it being very difficult on my hands. It doesn't have the spring and stretch. It's a cotton that wool has. But it's a little 3-color, and it's a drop-down stitch. I don't remember much of it. I remember that I knew I was having a little boy, so I put these adorable little baseball buttons on it. I don't think I have a single picture of him wearing it, which just makes me sad. I haven't had a chance to really look. I've got photo albums everywhere. I used to do a lot of scrapbooking, so I have tons of photo albums. But I look at that, and it just astounds me that at some point there was a little hand sticking out of that. I must have a picture of him in this. How could I not? That would be so wrong. I just adore this. I love this. I'm going to keep it forever. Who knows, maybe someday my little boy will have a little boy and I'll be able to pass this on. I'm looking at it thinking it looks ratty, and he will never understand how precious that is and want this for a child of his own. Maybe someday I will find this pattern and recreate it. If this pattern looks familiar to you, if you have seen this anywhere else, please drop me a line and tell me what this pattern is so I can share with other people. It was easy. It was something that I was readily able to accomplish. It has buttonholes in it, although you know what? In washing it, I think it shrank a little bit, and I do not see those oh, I can see the buttonholes, but it closed them up. Yep, I can see where they used to be. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Wow. It shrank over the years and in washing, but it's adorable. I just love it, and it makes me very happy. So yay, I did find it. Why didn't I not continue crocheting? Probably because by the time I got that done, suddenly I was very busy with a little baby boy, and all of my crafting pretty well stopped outside of scrapbooking and photo journaling, that experience. But it's funny the phases we go through in our lives, isn't it? Where focus shifts and changes, and we pay attention to this, that, or the other thing for a while and very passionately, and then it shifts off to something else that we're equally as passionate about. That is pretty much what I have for you guys. I am still dealing with the appliance apocalypse. Our coffee maker still, we need to buy a new coffee maker, and we haven't done that yet. If you're willing to buy me a cup of coffee or help fund the appliance apocalypse here, where we're going to have to replace the coffee maker, I greatly appreciate your purchases of my patterns or donations to my coffee fund. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. We have had some unexpected financial surprises, and unfortunately, a coffee maker is very low on the scale of things that we need to focus on right now, and so we're putting a lot of time and effort into begging our coffee maker to work, and otherwise slipping out and buying coffee elsewhere, which is counterproductive to saving money to buying a new coffee maker. That having been said, that's where we are at. That's what I'm doing right now. And if you are going to be in La Crosse Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday of this upcoming week, I can't wait to see you. We're going to have the best time, and thank you for joining me over at Unwound in La Crosse. Otherwise, guys, it's going to be 2 weeks before you hear from me again. I will not be podcasting from the road. Do punch into my Instagram account and watch stuff there. I will try to cross-post over to Facebook as much as I can. Facebook has changed a lot since I used it last, like 4 or 5 years ago, and it's complicated. Maybe it's not complicated. Maybe I am simple. I don't know. But getting everything to post everywhere is difficult for me. I'm just not up to par on all of my digital stuff. So I will be posting primarily to Instagram, and that's where I'll be sharing everything for you as much as possible. I'll be trying to live in the moment as well, so please, if you're with us, take pictures and post and hashtag Dye Monkey Yarn so that everybody can see. And I'll see you guys after the show. I love you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for all of your messages of encouragement, love, and coffee support. I love you guys. We'll see you soon. Bye.